Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. The Pro Farmer Crop Tour getting underway on Monday, and already we're hearing of some surprises. In the West, scouts are tracking the conditions in South Dakota. In the East, the focus is on Ohio. Farm Journal's Tyne Morgan will be joining us all week, helping to track what the scouts are seeing. She joins us from the Crop Tour Live news set. Now, Tyne, there's talk in Ohio of a possible record-breaking corn crop, while in the West, there are plenty of pressure on the crops there.
Well, Clinton, it's really the tale of two extremes as day one of Pro Farmer Crop Tour wrapped up. Heading into the tour, USDA painted a pretty optimistic picture in Ohio's crop production report last week. They pegged that yield at 193 bushels per acre. That would top the current record in the state by 6 bushels per acre. But in South Dakota, the outlook is much more grim, with USDA projecting South Dakota's yield to see a dramatic drop from the record yield farmers saw last year. This year, USDA posting a yield of 133 bushels per acre. That's down 29 bushels per acre from 2020. And extremes is exactly what scouts saw on Monday, but the tour did produce a few surprises. As Crop Tour scouts set out Monday,
we've seen some pretty good corn so far along my route.
Ohio did not disappoint.
It looks a little bit better on those handful of stops that we made than what Ohio corn normally is.
A soggy start as scouts geared up to wade through the muddy fields.
Out here in northeast Ohio, far northern Ohio, and got some rains, so they have moisture now to finish out crops.
But optimism in a state that Eastern Scout lead Brian Grady says typically is hit or miss.
And it looks like there's quite a few hits this year, at least on the early sampling so far this morning on day one.
The rain's a welcome sign for the soybeans.
So it has the potential to add some pods if it does get these rains and they continue on.
As much of the crop is still in the flowering stage.
I think the pod counts in general are pretty solid and have been pretty consistent through our handful of stops so far this morning.
While the East showed the potential for a record in portions of Ohio,
coming out of Sioux Falls directly, they've had pretty good rainfall.
South Dakota scouts saw conditions a bit more mixed.
The corn was pretty good health, ground was still kind of dry, but what we saw was about 190. Pretty good looking ears, pretty good looking stalks.
But as the scouts set out farther west,
we've run into some drier soils.
Turner County, South Dakota showed scars from the dryness.
Right here in this field, it came in at 136, so that's a little bit more like I think a lot of people were expecting in the drier parts of South Dakota.
But those scars not as deep as some expected heading into the tour this week.
Looking at the USDA's number and how much they dropped corn on this August WASDE report, I'm kind of wondering if maybe they have gone a little bit too far.
As it's the story of haves and have-nots when it comes to rain.
You know, you can really see like the areas that just missed out on the rains. You know, and we were just talking to the farmer here. He said he got a pretty decent rain about 2 weeks ago, which saved him.
Some fields showing cracks.
Soybeans look pretty good.
But Ted Seifert says the potential in soybeans is still there.
You know, the first 2 stops, soybeans looked pretty good, really pretty good from where we were standing. Obviously a little bit drier here. Beans are further along. Pods are filling out pretty nicely.
As Seifert says, his outlook on southern South Dakota's soybean crop potential is surprisingly promising.
Beans seem pretty good.
And we will bring you results from day one of Crop Tour tomorrow morning on Ag Day. But if you want an early peek at the results every day, you'll want to join us tonight for Crop Tour Live. Tyne Morgan and myself will talk with our West and East Tour leaders and break down the yield numbers from each state on the tour. Now, it all starts at 7 o'clock Central Time. To watch, sign up and head over to agweb.com/Crop Tour.